Look at this. Tens of thousands of Brits marching through the streets of London, past Big Ben and the Parliament, chanting no to mass migration. They are being led by Tommy Robinson. They tagged it Unite the Kingdom Rally. And the police estimate says it's about 50 to 60,000 people. And then what are they chanting for? They don't want immigration again in the UK. But here is the big question nobody in the mainstream is asking out loud. Did the UK bring this on themselves? Today, we dive into how decades of empires, plunder, and open immigration policy has turned the UK into a pressure cooker. If you are tired of sugarcoating history and you want the real, raw truth, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's unpack everything. It is May 16th, 2026. In central London, massive crowd everywhere, frustration, protest, and what do they want? They don't longer want immigrants in their country. But why is this so? 2025 was the only year that the number of immigrants in the UK dropped to I think 204,000. Before then, they always had about 900,000 people immigrating or migrating to the UK, and then many years of open migration policy has actually brought in a lot of people into the UK and is now straining the housing crisis, causing cultural changes. In fact, there are places in the UK that is a no-go area for the people that own the city. But when we ask, what are the protests all about? Presently in the UK, the name Mohammed seems to be one of the most, when somebody gives birth to you, if you say there are about 10 babies, about 4 or 5 with the name Mohammed in the UK. And then there have been cases of crime rates increase. There have been cases of housing crisis, hospital. There have been a lot of inflation in the country recently, and the people are getting tired. And why is this? This is due to the long decades of immigration policies that allow people to come into the country, thereby weighing down on the economy of the country. So the people are now tired, and until this kind of protest erupts, that is only when the government can react, and that is why it's happening. And when some of the protesters were asked why they were protesting, they say it's about preserving the British identity. Like they feel like the illegals, the boats that are being brought into the country, the illegals that just leave their country and they come into the UK to mess up the system. And then some people are actually saying that it's racism, but the numbers don't lie. There has been a lot of cultural changes in the UK recently. Now let's talk about karma, because Britain helped plant these things that are happening now. For centuries, the British Empire spanned the globe. In fact, the sun doesn't set down on British Empire. They colonized, extracted raw materials, conquered territories, drew arbitrary borders. You can remember the Berlin Conference of 1884. Britain was part of them. They plundered a lot of. In fact, Britain see Africa, most Africa, the Caribbean, as an extractive continent. And Britain, if you calculate the number of countries they colonized, they were over 120. Over. And then I'm just asking, is it karma coming back? All the people that they have colonized and destroyed their country, they're the ones coming back to the UK. I'm just asking. I'm asking because it's as if the UK built their wealth under the backs of Africans, under the backs of Indians, under the backs of the Caribbeans. Because I can remember the famines under the colonial rule. I can remember the Opium War. I can remember the transatlantic slave trade. All these things contributed to what Britain is today. Is it karma pushing back on them? Why did Britain actually plunder these countries or go into these countries? The reason is very simple. Post-World War II, Britain needed cheap labor to rebuild after Germany had destroyed their country. And then they actually built or created this thing they call Commonwealth. And then in 1948, they had this British Nationality Act, which made it easy to bring in everybody in the Commonwealth into the UK to help build the country. and now the UK has been built. And there's this way they say, we are here because you were there. Like the people being in the UK, like coming to the UK now, is more like they were in their country and then you guys left your country to come and carry them to this place to build. Now their descendants have all gone now. Their descendants are now coming back to the place where their great-grandfather were brought to. The irony is actually thick. The same empire that they extracted wealth from now faces the reverse flow. Descendants and people from those empires are now coming to the mother country. The Britain, Great Britain is the mother country of all these countries. Nigeria, Nigeria, India, so many Anglophone African countries, the Caribbean. It's as if they are coming back. And the funny thing is that some of them integrate very well, some of them don't. Some of them try to impose their own culture, like those in the Islamic countries want to impose Sharia and change the culture of Britain. And then these are what is actually causing all these protests and riots. They're like, the people that own the country are like, the people that we welcomed in our country are now trying to like destroy us. So it's for me, I'm just feeling like, is this karma coming back to them? Because the way these people were in their country and you guys went to their country to carry them. Now you have built your own country, but theirs is now shithole. The girl child is no longer safe in so many cities in the UK. And birth rates, some of the migrants tend to marry more and we actually have more babies than the actual breeds. Now, birth rate and chain migration change the demographic and culture of a people. Tommy Robinson highlighted that Islamization is coming to the UK, or the Muslims are trying to take over the UK. But the core problem is the unsustainable policy meeting the historical blowback. There have been a lot of policies that are not first British, but immigrant first, and that is what is clashing now. There's this diagram I see. Open borders plus low birth rate plus unvetted inflow is equals to cultural erosion. To get to a point, your culture will not be there. So I think that is why these guys are protesting. So did the UK bring this on themselves? Partly yes, or a huge yes. History is not just villains and victims. Actions have consequences. You can't just go around plundering people's country, destroying kingdoms and empires, and using it to build your own country. And then you go again and open the floodgates and allow those same people you plunder their country to come in, and you think they would not displace you? No, you made a mistake. So what are they protesting for? They're simply protesting to the fact that enough is enough. Mass migration should be controlled. The government has to make policies that will favor the Brits first before any other person. And that is what they're asking. So what do you guys think? Is this karma or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. See you guys some other time. Bye.